somebody call an exterminator? Sorry, couldn't resist. Well, it's that time again, dear viewers. Salutations. You're on with the NeXeN of the Vast Nexus. Kind of choking on my intro here a little bit. Ah, yes. New mechanic right here. Whoa. New mechanic right here. You can choose when to leave, and that's rather important on the grounds that, there's, like, a lot more hidden stuff and collectibles. So even after you've destroyed the zombie scourge, you might want to hang around a bit to go find some stuff. I was going to launch immediately into a few yes, thank you, I understand, game. Decided to clear this city. This new city. I actually think the resolution on the background graphic has actually been improved. Either that or it just looks different, because it looks more like a suburban area in this part of it. So, what has changed? We have day and night cycles. Nice inclusion. We have an expanded arsenal. We have distinct, like, precision sniper rifles. The machine guns are back. But in addition to additional weapons, we also have additional tower weapons, mines, grenades. We have the rage injection. I'm going to be shamelessly abusing that. Mines, I'm also going to be shamelessly abusing that. And our upgrades have been generously expanded. Stability, we got increased business, hacker, which I usually upgrade early on because it lets you get... There's an achievement associated with that. And the detector. Oh, playing Decision 1, this is the thing I really miss. But, as per usual, we need gold first. We also have warehouse capacity. This basically restricts how many upgrades you can get. So once you have all the warehouses, you can get all the upgrades, but you need to explore for that. I'm going to make the statement that I recently watched a video, basically, from game developers talking about how they need to protect the players from themselves, because players will often optimize... quote, optimize all the fun out of a game, and I'm probably one of the biggest perpetrators of that. So, by limiting your upgrades, and by extension what you can reasonably handle to the warehouses, which you have to explore to find, they prevent you from min-maxing the way I did in the first game. The reason I'm still going to be doing that is because there are new metas you can explore that still allow you to optimize the fun out of the game. That's not really my intention, it just sort of happens naturally. I can't help but like striving for the highest efficiency. Because who doesn't want to get the most done with the least amount of effort? I mean, it primarily involves a sniper rifle and a rage injector. Oh, and mines, because you can't really do that when you're on defense. But a little trick with the mines, and defense becomes trivial. They made some of that less effective in the third installment, so I guess you could call that patching the meta out. Because this was back in the day where, like, if you wanted a balancing tweak, it was usually a sequel issue. You had to wait for the next game. Developers sort of playtested a game, and, you know, well, they developed it, and then they playtested it, and then they moved on to the next thing. You didn't have years upon years of patches after the fact. I mean, I'm not sure at what scale Fly Anvil was operating at this time. Like, did they QA in-house, or was there even bothering? Because, well, there's always QA, because nothing comes out this polished without quality assurance, or just quality testing, because there's going to be problems that if nobody actually tries to find them, nobody actually, like, takes a look, tries to suss them out, you're going to have problems. On the player end, not just the developer end. If I'm getting my words garbled, jumbled, it's because I'm excited. Decision 2. The toy box has expanded. I got mines and rage injectors and critically a sniper rifle. Regular viewers of my channel will know how strongly I feel about sniper rifles. I say regular viewers, but if you haven't seen my Fortnite videos, you probably wouldn't know. Okay, I have not been sweeping the corners, as I should. Oh, and before I forget to mention it, because I was going to bring it up in the first place, you may have noticed that in order to preserve the kind of... Oh, there's one. There we go. That's a secret. There's more than 60, so you don't have to necessarily find all of them to get the achievement. I like that, because even though I'm a completionist, some of them are actually in the sectors you can't clear, which makes finding them kind of a pain. Am I using a revolver? I am using a revolver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, must be a low-caliber revolver. For those unfamiliar with guns, yes, there are revolvers in round counts higher than 6. There's revolvers with round counts lower than 6. They don't all have to be 6 guns. Usually, though, if you're talking about 8 to 10 shots in a revolver, it's like a sporting, plinking revolver with, like, really tiny bullets where lethal effect on the target is not the point. You're in, like, a competitive shooting environment and you want something to come out of the business end, but it doesn't matter how big it is because you're just shooting at targets. Perhaps we could call it a point of character development. He doesn't narrate anymore. I mean, that might have been a thing where they just didn't bother, but I kind of like that he's sort of become accustomed to the fact that he's maybe alone right now, and he's sort of embraced his role as the kind of Doom guy of this game, where he's just fighting off the zombie hordes and just being silent and stoic. We have achievements again, even more so. All warehouses, that makes sense. Magnate, yeah, some of these are... Do we still have a reconnoiter? Find out how long I have to actually explore everything. I'm sorry, I know this is taking a minute. Okay, recon all areas. I don't see a reconnoiter. Okay, so they've kind of eliminated the time crunch that you need to, like, explore all the regions in a set amount of time. Part of that is, again, because the way I was playing it before is not the way you're supposed to be playing it. And attempting to play the third one that way is probably why it's such a hard time, because you're not supposed to do that. Okay, well, if we want to upgrade stuff, we need to... Well, no, we can get basic if we just stick with what we are. Like, before, you couldn't upgrade factories unless you had engineering level 1. So, we can't do ATMs at all until we have hacker. So, yeah. It's cheap now for level 1, so why not? That I can't afford, but we're getting there. I'm gonna just check to make sure my mic's getting picked up. It is, even though there's usually some audio echo that I hear when... You know what, never mind, it's not important. Point is, yes, the framing of it. I have framed the window for all of you to avoid breaking the graphics, so to speak. Now, technically, there is overscan in the window that was created. I definitely need to upgrade to a stronger weapon. there is overscan in the window that was created, but not for like a modern aspect ratio. So I've trimmed the visible portion down to the sort of baseline of what was expected of machines at the time. Although by the looks of things, because you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm seeing it now, the background has actually been, like, blackened out. You don't see the void space anymore. So I'm probably... So again, for context, I'm probably going to record maybe an hour of this in a session, and... Oh, there we go. I'm used to Hacking 3 where he just, like, Fonzies it open. And that means the first 3 installments will be sort of just back-to-back from something that was recorded. It won't be a week ago this time, but it'll be probably, well, again, time is relative. If it's the first installment, it'll be a day before. If it's the second, it'll be 2 days before, etc., etc. The reason I keep these videos down to 20 minutes is to avoid burning viewers out, because like an hour a day or something, not only would the content run out much faster, but that's quite a time investment of a person's life on a daily basis. So 20 minutes I find is kind of the maximum you can go for if you want to keep it approachable for a more casual viewing audience. If you go 30 minutes, that could work. Oh yeah, the background is blacked out. So, a technical improvement, and arguably some future-proofing, which is... Oh, he just got brained by his buddy there. That's a bit of future-proofing, because I don't think they ever intended it to, like, be on this aspect ratio, but yet, yeah, they've actually made the backdrop blackened out, so it doesn't just look like the null void. So yes, what I've been trying to get at, but I'm being too much of a gamer right now and actually playing the game and not commentating, which is bad from a secrets. Bad from a Let's Player perspective. If the bordering is not to your liking, these first 3 videos are your chance to comment on that, so I stop using it. If it's early enough, I'll probably have it corrected by the next session, if not by the session after that. Otherwise, I'll just keep the border. Now, I know that my Zoomer viewers dislike my usage of borders, because I used it on Super Metroid, because that, again, was intended for, like, CRT monitors that were not... of a widescreen or ultra-wide aspect ratio. I'm really not being super attentive to secrets, but if I was, this would take all day. So I bordered my Super Metroid, and I bordered it kind of smartly, where I put the previous installment, or a variant thereof, AM2R, on the left side, so that was the previous installment, and then I had Metroid Fusion, the sequel, on the other side, so I was bracketing Super Metroid by its predecessor and its successor. But yes, for some reason my Zoomer viewers took exception to that. Now the kids these days want it in this ultra-tall aspect ratio that I honestly do not care for. Alright, I don't get the threat level unless I have the threat detector, which is another reason to get it early on. Well, I'm just gonna do a bit more snooping for the goodies. I'd also get points for smashing these boxes, but... Well, not points. Gold, coins, pesetas, dinero, euros. Oh no, I've been here. But I evidently was not very thorough. I definitely feel like base movement speed might have been slowed down a bit. I can still make it work. Becoming a running gag of just me not upgrading movement speed and giving a big FU to all those who expect me to do so. He who shall be slowest shall be first. Besides which, if I'm not playing like sneaky, stealthy sniper, I'm usually playing the tank character with a freaking minigun. God, that reminds me, it's been a while since I've played Payday 2. It's been even longer since I've actually been the tank with a minigun. I started running dodge build. It's just like, oh, it's nice to be able to move just out of like dual Glock 17s, or no, Glock 18s, yeah, the auto Glocks with extended mags and freaking laser-sighted grips and flashlights. And surprise, I literally just named it the Glockinator after the weapon in Tab G, the two Glocks that are just stitched together with a red dot. Crunch. Well, okay, yeah. We still get an arrow to indicate where they are if we're actually looking for them, even without the detector. That's a nice touch. No, like, again, this is how you evolve a game series from its initial inception to a refinement of whatever your original design was. There are quality of life improvements. The toy box has been expanded. The player has been to some extent protected from themselves, which I can't say is universally what I'd like, because I am one of those shameless over-optimizers. Yeah, maybe this territory is just more suburban. Like, the last one looked more cluttered. But again, at this point, it's probably like 2 weeks ago. I don't remember super well. I definitely feel like we gotta up our weapon game, but like, you have to move sequentially. Shotgun, sniper, AR, so forth. And I kind of want to invest in upgrades first. Well, I could get Hacker 2. Actually, is there even... once again, there's no factory here. If I want to get the warehouse, though, I have to do a clear area, which is unnecessary right now. So we're going to hold off on that, because I don't even have enough upgrades to make it really worth it. But we're going to do assault position so we can access the new regions. It's nice to see the tower gun is a bit more effective. I mean, these are the squishier zombies, but still, like, previously it didn't just pop them in one hit. That's a nice touch. Yep, that gets me, I think, some gold. Oh yeah, no, I get gold for that. Oh, do we go east or do we go south? Well, it's a nighttime recon op, which always ends well, so things might go south, so let's go south. Being cheeky with it. I don't remember if it did that in the original game. Probably, and I'm just not remembering it. Still rocking that 8 gun. Actually, I wonder, is, like, reload overlapping a thing still? Hang on. No, that's also been fixed. Again, quality of life improvements. Because before, if you hit... Oh. Yeah, I just colloquially refer to those as werewolf zombies, because they look like werewolves, and they're running around with zombies. So either they're just werewolves, or they're werewolf zombies. Either way, these kind of make speed useful, because you can't outwalk these. They're quick. And the higher level ones can jump. So, like, the landmine spam that I'm going to be doing later also doesn't work, because they can just jump over your landmines. They also add variety to the zombie scourge, which is something that zombies generally need, because zombies are very spammy. Unless you give them variants. I mean, all, like, good zombie games have, like, special zombies. Everything from Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2... I wouldn't call Space Hulk Deathwing a zombie game, even if it was basically just, you know, 40k does Left 4 Dead. Let's be real. Whoa! These are the easy ones. Ooh. So yeah, there are some things on these maps that you can only find if you re-explore a region, because you now have that option. Like, you can go into an area and explore all of its map sites without actually having to do a mission, which is also a nice feature. It does still use one of your in-game days, though, which will toggle or cycle the day-night. Oh, still killing it with the pistol. Granted, again, as I mentioned, the threat level right now is still comparatively low. Also, if you hold left-click down, he will fire continuously, but if you mash, you fire faster. So here's holding it, and here's my infamous mouse mashing. I'm willing to mash for a higher rate of fire. I'm still not entirely clear if this character is Sarge or Surge. I don't know. This Killin' Cat in the comments has been spelling it with an E, and I'm used to Sarge being spelled with an A. I don't know if I'm just crazy or what's going on there. Whoa, what was that noise? Yeah, I can't really exploit the extra screen space that I have beyond the border because the crosshair doesn't quite go beyond the border. Aw, he was right next to the explosives. Why'd you have to move? I mean, for the record, my mood by the end of Decision 1 had kind of depreciated, and it's not a problem with the game, it's just I've been playing it for, what, 3 hours at that point? Not solid, but there's also the fact that the energy that I have when I go into sessions is not always universally the best. Like, right now, I'm very high energy, because it's, like, early on in the day, it's a weekend, I've got free time, I haven't, like, done anything that's gonna tire me out. But the thing is, if I only recorded when the circumstances were ideal, I'd have next to no content, so sometimes you gotta deal with me being a bit of a sourpuss. I do like zombies playing dead, too. That's another classic zombie thing that I'm not sure they had in Decision 1. Like, the amount of stuff that got added for this is just incredible. And then Medieval added a bunch of stuff, like, restricting upgrades to different, experts, masters, whatever. You know, another way outside of the warehouse thing, because I think they still had the warehouse thing, but that was another way of preventing you from getting OP weapons because you're a min-maxing little munchkin like I am. I still find ways around those restrictions, I'm sorry. One of the reasons I'm a huge fan of games like System Shock is because, you know, that whole notion of emergent gameplay that you can tackle it any way you want. I have a tendency to break the sequence. God, once my Halo 2 LP is out, and we see me Marioing around New Mombasa, you'll understand what I mean by breaking the sequence. Oh, we also have a melee as a default. I guess Sarge doesn't lose everything when he changes to another city. Still got some of those melee skills, because in the first one, if you didn't invest in at least one melee upgrade, you couldn't melee at all. You just get cronked whenever a zombie creeps up on you. Where are these 7 zombies? I feel like I've been over the entire map. I could just leave it alone, but to my knowledge, you get more than just, the money for killing the zombies. You also collect if you actually clear the whole area. You get to kill the rest. Technically, I should also be looking for those secrets. This is another reason I get the locator, because finding them, I'd be able to do that in 2 seconds if I had the locator, but now I'm having to creep around and look for the stuff. I'll check the gold situation before the next mission, see if I can get the locator or the tracker. Oh, there's somebody. Explosions are also a bit more potent in this game. You definitely don't want to get caught in your own barrel explosion. Although I still think there's no friendly splash damage, but we'll find that out. There we go.